Happy 90-day challenge Thursday. I get the honor of kicking this thing off. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. Hey, listen, I want to remind you guys what you're getting here is invaluable with one caveat. You have to put it into action. And it's so telling, Jay, it always is as we go through these things and do week-long trainings or commitments or whatever. You start so strong and then you see the numbers start to die out. Here's what I want to encourage you with today. The people that are successful, the people that find what they're looking for in life, and I'm looking at faces that have had a lot of success in life. I know that, so you know what I'm about to say is accurate. It's about doing the things that you said you were going to do long after the feeling you settle in has passed. Doing the thing you said you were going to do when you first started this business and you got your why and you got your accountability partner and you got, whatever it is, you got your mission. Doing those things long after the feeling that you set it in has passed. That's success. That's the difference. That's the separator. And so I just want to congratulate all of you guys for being on here. Here we go, baby. We're about to get another class by Jay. But the one question I have for you before we get started, there's a good bit of you guys on, so I'd love everyone to answer as fast as you can answer this question right now. Who is your accountability partner? Please write the name of your accountability partner in the chat as fast as you can. Well, Mary, I'm glad you have an accountability partner. You're the one and only. Yes, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, I love it. Okay, here's the reason that I asked you to do that is because indecision is the enemy of progress. And if you haven't decided and taken action on actually physically and practically getting an accountability partner, you're stunning your progress. Your indecisiveness is stopping you from progressing the way that you should be progressing through this 90-day challenge. And so that's awesome. Everyone, there's a lot of good comments right here. So I love it. Hey, I'm going to sit back and learn as well. This is going to be another great call, Jay. I'm honored to be on here. Get your notes, get your pen, get your paper ready, and let's go.
Well, you guys, I'm excited again today. These are the highlight of my week every single week. It's crazy how fast it goes, though. Like every time it's time, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I just did it yesterday. So the weeks are just passing so fast. And I want to thank you guys again for the precious commodity of your time and trusting me for this hour of your life. It's an honor to be here with you guys each and every single week that we've been together. I just am so appreciative that you guys keep tuning in. And like Kyle said, maybe because we changed the time, maybe because people are going to listen to the recording, or maybe just people can't stick with something. And that's the reason most people aren't successful, right? But the ones that are on here that you guys have been consistent every single week, you guys are going to see progress if you execute and if you take this plan, this journey that I'm taking you on. I'm taking you on a step-by-step journey that actually turned my life around, that I wrote a book around. And everything that I'm teaching you is what I do every single day of my life. And it's the discipline that matters. So you guys could be anywhere right now, right? You could be scrolling aimlessly on your phone. You could sit in the comfort of your home. You could be sitting outside by the pool, but you're not. You're here because something inside of you is whispering, there's more for me, right? There's that voice that we always talk about. There's more for me. And I'm here to tell you that whisper is exactly right. Because here's the truth. You cannot outperform the vision that you have for your life. I want you to let that sink in for a second. You cannot outperform the vision you have for your life. If you can't see it, you guys, you'll never ever chase it. If you can't visualize it, you'll never ever manifest it. And if you don't believe it, it will never become. I promise you. A lot of people say, you know what? I'll believe it when I see it. You hear that all the time. That is the worst thing that you could do. You got to believe it before you see it. You're not going to see anything until you believe in yourself first and foremost. Vision is the birthplace of every single breakthrough in your life. Manifestation is the bridge. You got to have a vision, then you got to manifest it every single day. And that's what I've tried to help you guys with the GPS and the GPA, with figuring out what is success for you guys. What are your core values? Because that manifestation is that bridge between where you are and where you're destined to go. And this is not about magic, you guys. There's nothing magic about this. This is about intention. This is about clarity. This is about telling your life where to go before your life tells you where you're going to end up. I don't care where you are right now. I have no care in the world this moment where you are, where you're struggling. That's not the place that you're going to end up unless you allow that to happen. And I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about deliberate, focused, intentional creation. Because the moment you stop waiting and instead you build the blueprint, you paint the picture, and you commit to the process, everything, I promise you guys, I promise you, because this has happened to me. Y'all know I lived in my car 23 years ago. I could have been a victim, but when I built the blueprint and when I painted the picture and I committed to the process, everything in my life shifted. So today, I'm going to talk to you guys about vision boards and how to take what we've learned and how to implement and execute that on a vision board. And we're not just talking about vision boards, though. What we're talking about today is what I call life boards. The life you see when you close your eyes. The life you feel when you tap into that spirit of something that you always wanted in your life. The life that's been calling you, but you've been too distracted to answer. We're all so distracted by our phones. You know, I used to say Steve Jobs changed the world. And I'm not sure that he changed the world in the greatest ways because he put a phone in our hands that distracts us from every single thing we're doing. You go out to dinner, you see people looking at their phones. You see people in their house, and everyone in the house is on their phones. And so we're so distracted that we can't go and become the person that we want to be. So now that we've grounded ourselves in the power of goal setting, again, you got to take time. You have to take discipline. You have to sit down for 30 minutes and say, what do I really want? What is it that I want? I want to quickly recap what we covered last week because repetition is the key to all mastery. I do everything in repetition. We talked about the GPS, which is the goal planning system, the GPA, which is the goal producing activities. It's actually going to get you there. So it's your plan, it's your goal, it's your strategy. And then putting that on the calendar, right? It's cool if you say, hey, I'm going to go to California, you live in North Carolina, but you're not going to just get in the car and go. Used to, you would have a map and you would plan the map. But now all you got to do is put it in Waze or Google and you're going to get there. But you're going to at least put it in Google. You're going to at least put it in Waze so you get there the most efficient way. We broke down the difference between wishing for something and actually engineering the steps to get it. We understood that setting goals isn't about a wish list. It's about declaring your future and aligning your actions daily to bring the vision to life. Now, here we're going to go a little deeper today. We're going to give your goals a face. And the reason I say face is because you remember someone's face. And a face is something you see over and over and over again. We're going to bring your vision to life in a way that your mind can see it, your emotions can feel it, and your actions can pursue it. But not only you, we're going to bring it to life where everyone else can see it. Because the thing about goals and dreams is that we'll give up on them when no one knows about them. And it's a crazy thing, right? Expectations, which I'm going to talk about next week. Expectations we have with so many people in our life that we shouldn't have. And when someone lets us down, we will get upset with them. And that expectation, they probably didn't even know. It was an expectation that you had in your mind that your husband should do this, your kids should do that, your sister should do this, a friend should do that. And they have no idea of that expectation. But the crazy thing about expectations is we don't have expectations of ourselves. And so when we set those goals, if we let ourselves down, a lot of times we'll just let ourselves off because no one knew about it. But when you do this vision board and you start sharing this with everyone, the world's going to know about it. And also the way that I'm going to teach you to do this is everyone's going to see it every single day. And that's what's important, is that everyone sees it every single day. And the tool is the vision board. I want to ask you guys something. When was the last time, and I want you to ask yourself this question. When was the last time that you slowed down long enough, all by yourself, no distractions, no phone, it's in another room, to truly visualize the life you want and the life that you want to build? In old school, take a piece of paper, write it on your iPad, however you want to do it. But when is the last time that you actually did that? When's the last time you actually sat down with your husband and did this? When did you sit down with your kids and do this? When did you sit down with your kids and find out what do they truly want? What about someone on your team? Figuring out what makes them tick. Because all these tools that I'm teaching you, I want you to take these tools and use these in your business to sit down with people. And when they come into the business, I want you to figure out what people want so that you can help them reach their success psyche, their success snowflake. So just think about that question and then try to do that as soon as possible. I want to recommend this book to you guys, and I'm going to have Lola put in the chat the link that I absolutely love, you guys. And it's called The Magic of Thinking Big. It's a very, very easy read, but it's just a very commonsensical book about just thinking outside of the back and thinking outside of the box and dreaming bigger than you've ever dreamed before. So Lola, if you could put that link in the chat from Amazon, English and Spanish, because it's really, really important to think big. And if thinking big scares you, that means you're thinking big enough. Because your vision is what's going to pull you forward when motivation wears off. Because it's going to wear off. And it's going to wear off every single day. And I'm looking at all of you. It's going to wear off every single day. But when you commit and you write it down and you're looking at it and you've told your family, you've told your friends, you've told your team, you've told everyone, like do this with your team. I don't care if you have 2 people, 10 people, create vision boards and share so you know what makes them tick. Because vision is what gives your actions purpose. Vision is what's going to fuel consistency when results aren't instant. And you know what? Results are never instant in anything. Because results that are instant never last. And if they're instant, I'm telling you right now, they're luck. But luck is a horrible plan. If goal setting is your blueprint, your vision board is the rendering, it's the image, it's the daily reminder of why it matters. You see, your brain is wired for visuals. It craves evidence. It locks in on what it sees repeatedly over and over and over again. Like when you buy a new car, have you ever noticed that a lot of people have your new car? Because it's what you're focused on. You're like, man, I've never seen so many Toyota 4Runners before. Wow, did everyone just get a Toyota 4Runner? But you never used to drive that car. So whatever you focus on, that's what you're going to start seeing. This works in every aspect of life. So that's why this exercise I'm going to teach you guys is so much more than cutting and pasting. It's programming your subconscious to believe in the life you're building before it ever becomes visible to you. So today, I want to invite you to get creative, take some time, get intentional, put the same energy into visualizing your goals as you do to writing them down. So once we write them down, we take 30, 45 minutes. Now let's put that vision on paper. Because when your vision becomes real in your mind, it starts becoming real in your life. It becomes more attainable in your life. Let's take everything that we've built over the last 4 sessions. Your morning and evening routines, your number, the number you want to have in the bank account, the number you want to make every single month, your GPS, your GPA, your why, your success snowflake, your core values. And now let's give it life on that life board that you can see every single day. Because if you could see it daily, you'll start to believe it deeply, I promise. And when you believe it deeply, you're going to work for it consistently. And what I recommend doing is once you have finished this life board, vision board, whatever you want to call it, save it as a screensaver on your computer. Put it on the fridge for everyone to see in your house. Hang it on your bathroom mirror, the first thing you see in the morning, as a reminder of what your 90-day goals are, what you're going to accomplish. Sit down, share it with your family, share it with your kids. When you're working a little harder than you want to, and you want to go to Disney with your kids in the next 90 days, and they ask why you're working so hard, you could point to it and say, because I want to take you to Disney, and this is what it's going to take. It's a good lesson for our children to know that things don't come easy and there's a plan. You guys can create this on photocollage.com. You could create this on Canva. And Lola's going to put photocollage.com. You guys all know Canva. You can go out there and create it in Canva as well. Photocollage.com makes it really, really easy to do. Or old school, grab your scissors, magazine, apps, screenshots, computer, print stuff off, and create your vision board. It's a fun process to go through. And once you spend that time, you're more committed. Because I want to take the next step today. I want to go from setting goals for you guys to see the goals, from planning the dream to living in the vision. So let's build your vision board and start showing your life exactly where it's headed. Show everyone where it's going. Do this with your team. Have them watch these calls. They're recorded. Or reteach this and say, this is what you're doing. You would love to do it with them. So I want to discuss a few things that I believe help when you create your vision board. It's not about cutting out a picture of a car or a house or some six-pack abs or slapping it on a poster. It's about creating clarity. And so when you guys sit down to create this, I want you to think big and I want you guys to think deep. Your mindset. What do you want to believe about yourself? What thoughts do you want to dominate your daily dialogue? What about your health? What energy do you want to walk into every single room with? What habits do you want to drop? What habits do you want to master? Your business, your career, your other business, whatever it is. What's the impact you want to have on the people around you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave, or what kind of legacy do you want to build? Your finances, how does money flow to you? In your mind, does it flow easily or is it hard to come by? How are you using your money? What level of freedom do you want to walk into with the money? Your relationships, who do you love? Who do you want to pour into this next 90 days? Is someone struggling at school? Is someone wanting to be better at a sport that you can spend more time with and help them? What kind of people do you want to be around you? Well, what about your contribution? How are you giving back? What causes your soul to just light on fire? These vision boards are not just about material things, you guys. This is about alignment. Because when you see it, again, you will start to feel it. And when you feel it, you're going to start to believe it. And when you believe it, you're going to start to move like it's already yours. You're going to start acting like it's already yours. And when you act like that, it's going to come to you. So I don't want you guys just to make this a fun project. I want you to make this your strategy for becoming the new version of you. And what I want to do next week is I want to share them with our group on this call. And I want to share with everyone in your life before you get to this call so others can see your vision, because I want to hear from you what people are saying about your 90-day vision. So what I want to do, I want to share mine that I have just to give you guys an idea of what this looks like for me. All right. So again, my goals, my board has nothing to do with anything that you do, but I want to show you how the board tells a story. Okay. So let me see if I can share this. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. So this is my vision board, right? And I'm going to go in the order of the story that I'm telling. So in the next 90 days, I want my Lifeway check to be at $20,000 a week, $80,000 a month, right? That's $1 million a year, right? So the next 90 days, that's where I want to be. The next thing is I want to be at 1,200 personally sponsored. We're at like 625 right now. I want to be at 1,200, which is about 200 per month, right? That's my goal in the next 90 days. That's the average of people that we're signing up. That's where I want to be. Within the next 90 days, I want to have my Wellness Revolution website hub set up for all of my team members to be able to go out and have all the resources in one spot. In the next 90 days, I want to have my school platform set up and launched so that everyone coming into the system has somewhere to go and learn everything through our platform. The next 90 days, I want to get to helping 1,000 of our students in our Airbnb program. I want my body fat to be 11%. I'm close, but sorry, I'm on a call. Sorry guys. I want to be 11% body fat. I want to have 100 clients in the next 90 days in my financial agency. I want to be able to practice and teach Luna golf 4 days a week. That has been hard because it's time consuming to do it. And so I'm going to make that happen in the next 90 days with my schedule where I can go out and teach her. And then in the next 90 days, my wife and I want to help a family remodel their home and make their home better. So I get a little emotional because those are the things that mean the most to me. But so that's my vision for the next 90 days that I want to accomplish. Now, the way this works, you guys, is if something on here doesn't get accomplished, it doesn't mean you give up on it. It goes to your next 90 days. It's very, very simple, right? If I accomplish all of these things, I did not fail if I did not. The only thing I need to do is I need to move that to the next 90 days. And now that becomes at the top of my priority of what I'm going to focus on. And so that's how this works, you guys. And so all I'm going to do is move and shift. And when you do win, the most important thing that you can do is celebrate your victories. Most people win and they forget to celebrate. And you got to celebrate with your family. You got to celebrate with your friends. You got to celebrate on the rooftop and talking about on social media what you accomplished. It's not just about winning and then moving on. It's about winning and feeling good and celebrating, because winning then becomes a habit. And that's what I want you guys to do, is I want you guys to start winning. Because winning is fun. I will tell you, I am a horrible loser. You can ask a lot of people in Destin. We lost in kickball, and it's still, to this day, I'm losing sleep over it, and so is Kyle. It sucked. I don't want to lose. I hate losing more than I love to win, and I love to win a lot. But that's what pushes me, and that's what I want you guys to understand, is a loss is not a fail. A win is temporary, and you got to keep pressing on to keep winning. So you can't just do this for 90 days and let up. Okay, so next week, I want you guys to do these. And then I want to hear from you. I want you guys to share these, and I want you to tell me your story of what you're going to accomplish. Now, let's talk about the part that most people avoid. And that's execution. There's that word again. That terrible word of execution. Because once the vision is set, the next battle begins. Right? I've just shared with you guys the next 90 days what I'm going to do. Guarantee you Kyle's going to ask me where I'm at. So it's a battle. There's 9 things that I want to accomplish in the next 90 days. And that battle is between your ears. And it's also your comfort zone. Because let's be real. Human beings are wired to seek comfort. We're wired to seek safety. We're wired to seek security. But I want you guys to hear me on this. I want you to hear me loud and clear. Comfort is the enemy of growth. The warm, cozy, predictable life that most people have settled into, it might feel safe right now, but in the long run, it's far more dangerous than taking the risk. Trust me. You think it's comfortable right now. But down the road, it's a very dangerous, slippery slope. And you know what's really uncomfortable? You guys know, we've talked about this. It's regret, the kind of regret that weighs on your soul. The regret of knowing you could have, should have, would have, but you didn't do it because of what was going on between your ears and wanting that comfort in your life. And I know you guys think I'm crazy. A lot of people think I'm crazy. My best friend thinks I'm crazy when I say this. He's like, it's, oh, whatever. I've heard that so many times, but it's true. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable constantly. But that feeling, that tension, that stretch, that's the price of success. That's the price of greatness. And the truth is, every single breakthrough you're praying for is currently hidden behind a wall of discomfort. I'm telling you, nothing comes easy. Nothing great comes easy. The hard is what makes it great. I'm so thankful for all the hard times I've had in my life working at Waffle House 90 hours a week, living in my car, starting a business. Like to where I'm at now, like I sit on my balcony in my house and I'm just so grateful. My wife and I were just in pure gratitude last night. But I wouldn't have that gratitude if it wasn't for those so uncomfortable moments in my life that I sometimes didn't feel like I was going to make it through. So when you feel uncomfortable, don't run away from it. Don't shrink away from it. Don't try to numb out with video games or drinking or whatever you do to stop thinking about what's tough in your life. I want you to lean in next time when you have that feeling, because that signal is a signal that tells you you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The moment you feel comfortable, that's your trigger. It should be your trigger. It should be your red flag, if you want to call it that. Your internal alarm bell that's going off saying, warning, 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 your growth has stopped. So next time, what are you guys going to do when you feel that? I want to be, like in the cartoons where there's an angel and a devil. I want to be the angel that's saying, what are you going to do? You're super comfortable right now. What are you going to do? Are you going to just stay there? Or are you going to say, you know what? I'm going to go over here and get a little bit more uncomfortable. And so I want to leave you guys with a challenge today, and I'm going to open it up for Q&A today because I haven't really left it open for Q&A, and Kyle's going to take us out, and then after the Q&A. But I want to give you guys a chance to kind of ask questions about everything that we're talking about. But I want to leave you guys with a challenge, a real tangible action step. I want you guys to do one thing in the next 24 hours that makes you really uncomfortable. And when you do it, what I would love for you to do is on our Telegram channel, Destined for Success, I would love for you to share that one thing that you did that was really uncomfortable. And then I want you to celebrate it. Because I want you to get into the habit of doing things that aren't so comfortable. Have the conversation that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's with your husband. Maybe it's with your kid. Maybe it's with a coworker. But I don't want to have it because I'm uncomfortable having it. I don't like arguing with people. Well, don't argue. Maybe it's not an argument. Maybe it's going to solve a lot of problems in your life. Or maybe you're the one carrying something and the other person is just waiting for you to say something, but doesn't have the capacity to do so. How about post a video that you've been afraid to share? I mentored a guy yesterday and he was like, I want to be a coach. And I was like, well, you're going to have to do videos on social media to build your brand. And he was like, but I'm so nervous. I was like, well, your first video should be talking about how nervous you are because people are going to connect with you because everyone's nervous to do their first video. And he got 450 followers on Instagram yesterday in 2 hours after posting a video. He never had an Instagram before. And he posted that video and got 450 followers because he was real and he was honest. And he said it scared the crap out of him. And I told him, I said, when you do the video, don't watch it, just post it. Because you'll never post it. Just do the video and post it and just be you. And he got 450 followers in 2 hours yesterday with a brand new Instagram account. Talk to the person you've been afraid to talk about the business. That could be the doctor. It could be your family doctor. It could be your heart doctor. I'm nervous. He's a lot smarter than me. Or the guy in the gym. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to say the right thing. Talk to him. Face it. Get uncomfortable. Wake up earlier. Man, I just don't like to get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. But you know it's going to change your life. You know it's going to give you more time to do your morning routine. It's going to make you uncomfortable. Yeah. But I promise after you're awake, you're going to feel amazing. Say yes to something that you usually say no to. I have one for you that I absolutely avoided for the longest time, and it was a cold plunge. If you've never done a cold plunge, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do in your entire life. Jump in a cold plunge. It's very healthy for you. It will make you feel amazing, and it's completely 1000% uncomfortable. Whatever it is, do the thing that stretches you because every time you push past fear, you build a muscle of courage. And this is what I know. Courageous people change the world. And I'm here to change the world. And I know that I can't do it by myself. If we can build a lot of courageous people, we're going to be able to do something that's never been done. We're going to be able to do something that's really, really special. So let this be your moment. Let this be your day that you stop negotiating with your comfort zone. Let this be the day you decide this new version is not going to wait any longer. This new version is going to move even when it's messy. This new version, you will show up even when it's scary. This is who I am now, today. Because vision without action is just an imagination. But vision with action is manifestation. So, what I want you guys to do is I want you to go build it, whatever it is that you want to build. I want you to go become it, whatever it is that you want to become. And when the discomfort comes, I want you to just do this. This is the best thing that you can ever do with discomfort. Just smile. I promise you, if you put a smile on your face in any single moment, it will change everything about the situation. It will change your energy. It will change your state. It will change your mindset. And when you just smile and you feel that discomfort, what you're going to realize is you're finally becoming the person that your goals require. It's that simple, you guys. Don't make this harder than it is. So, Kyle, I don't know if you want to close it out now, and then we can go to Q&A. That way you can, whatever's on the top of your mind,
Yeah,
we can
dude.
do it that way.
I mean, I got 4 pages worth of notes. Where do you want me to start? Jay, that was really good, man. That was really good. The thing that the whole time you're talking, I'll tell you one thing that there's very few people in my life that when I hear speak, they say really, really profound things throughout their talk. Like in a 30-minute talk, might say 40 things that are really profound that you really want to write down. Most people say one or two in a speech. And dude, you just gave me like 30. So I would say, first of all, thank you for that. That was really,
I
really good.
appreciate that.
But a couple of things you said that I just want to highlight is the first you started off saying you can't outperform the vision that you have for your life. It's like, no, you cannot. And then you said believing comes before seeing. So I've always argued with people when they say, well, I want to see it to believe it. I'm like, then you'll never believe. To your point exactly. It's when you believe first, then you see. When I believe first that something is possible, then my mind subconsciously, right? It's the law of attraction, not goofy though. It starts to find ways in the world to make that happen, right? It literally does. Your car example is so true. So I really love that. And then I think your vision pulls you forward when motivation wears off. Dude, just looking at your vision board was like that did something cool for me. That was awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. I know that was vulnerable to share, but I don't have that. And I will before we meet again, and you can hold me accountable on that. But that was actually really, really cool. There's something that I have on my phone every day, and it's an alarm that goes off every day at 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:05, and it says, "See it, feel it, believe it, let it go." There's a book out there called The Breakthrough Code. You've probably read it, Jay. And he talks about how every single morning when you wake up, I'm not saying this is I'm first. I try to get in the word and pray and do that. That's the highest level of things that I'm chasing. But practically speaking, throughout my day, if I don't see something, feel it and believe it, and then let it go, it's never in my subconscious. So for example, you talked about a specific dollar amount that you want to make. You see it, you feel it, you believe it, but then you don't think about it again, right? You go out throughout the day, but it's always back there. And I do the exact same thing every single morning with a few things in my life, our income being one of them. I see it, I feel it, I believe it, and I let it go. So maybe that encourages you for that. And then the last thing that I'll say, because I really want to hear from everybody else, is Mark Batterson has a quote that I love, and you said it, but it says, "Show me the last time you were uncomfortable, and I'll show you the last time you grew." So if you can honestly look at yourself today as we're on this call and go, I really don't remember the last time I really was honestly uncomfortable in my physical life working out, or I was really uncomfortable the way that I love my spouse, or I was really uncomfortable the way that I was pursuing this business, then you haven't grown in those areas. And that's humbling for all of us because I know even myself, I sit here and go, wow, I have work to do immediately, but live a life of discomfort. The ultimate life of comfort is through discomfort. I know that sounds weird, but that's the absolute truth. If you want a really easy life, you got to do the hard things. That you think, well, that contradicts it. Yeah, but think about it. The people that do things easy, they eat the Cheetos every day on the couch, right? What number one, they're out of shape, so they have a really hard life. Number two, they're broke, so they have a really hard life. The people that wake up early and do everything that we've been talking about here, that Jay's been coaching you, yeah, it's hard to do, but it creates a really easy life. You're pretty much taken care of financially, you're taken care of relationally, you're taken care of physically. Does that make sense? And so it's just it's a paradigm shift. You have to change the way that you think. Get uncomfortable every day. That was amazing, Jay.
And Kyle, that paradigm shift is what you think is hard becomes the easy.
Yes.
Um,
Good
you
point.
know, so that paradigm shift actually is what's crazy is the hard becomes the easy, and then everything's easy, right? It's just a part of the process, like even the morning routine, like I think about it every single morning I go for a run or a walk or whatever, the consistency that it takes, but it's like it's such an easy process now for me that matter of fact, I would feel sick if I didn't do it. I would feel off if I didn't do it. So that part's the easiest part of my day, even though working out and doing all that stuff is the hardest thing I probably do all day physically. It becomes the easiest part of the day. So it's just, once you start doing it and build that habit and build that muscle, it's you just I can't imagine not doing it or doing it any other way because it's just what I'm drawn to. It's not a problem anymore. So that paradigm shift is so true, Kyle. Well, what kind of questions do you guys have? I mean, we've learned a lot over the last 5 weeks. Like you guys have hopefully been trying to put some of this stuff into your routine, into your schedule. What are the things that you're struggling with, or you have questions about, or you're coming up against? Like that's what I want to, help you guys with today for the last 15 minutes is just hear from you because you guys have been hearing from me for 5 weeks. So I just want to leave some room today to kind of talk about this. Or if you want to, how do you create your vision or you've never done that before, I'm happy to help you with any of that. So you guys can just unmute and there's no restrictions or whatever. So just unmute, raise your hand, and let's have a conversation. I mean, and just know this: there's no stupid question. Okay, I know people think, oh, I don't want to ask that question. A question that you're thinking about, probably five other people are thinking the same thing. So help those people that are too shy to ask a question. And you can't really be shy in this business because if you're shy in this business, you're not going to go very far. So we need to change that as well. And shyness is about ego, and ego we need to release. Ego is just you're afraid someone's going to judge you. And I promise you, if anybody on here judges you, uh, they're not a good person, and we shouldn't care about them anyway. So, anybody have anything that they want to talk about or ask about? And Kyle's a pretty intelligent individual too, so you guys can ask Kyle as well. If you want to just wave at me, if you're having a problem unmuting, I can help you with that. And if there's a question, that is no questions, just comments. Nothing? You guys have nothing? Okay, Chad.
All right. So I looked at your vision board and that it just it bothers me in a positive way. So the realistic question is not comparing ourselves, but looking at what other people do and the success in the business, and based upon the 6 months that we've been in. So it's a comparative of growth. If you're not doing social media, which I'm not good at, and that's another whole issue. But however, if you're not doing that, what could be a real expectation or goal for growth in this company as far as personally sponsored expectations of your downline? I mean, it's kind of a stuff I struggle with my mind because I get people involved and I know they'll be good and they get off to a start and they stall. They get off to a start and they stall. And you go, if they would just do what I did, 30 people in 3 months, this whole organization would be totally different. Everybody would be making a little bit of money and have more success. But that's where I struggle right now at 6 months in. Still I'm more than halfway to 2020 on each side. But I struggle with the downline and the expectations. Like I saw yours, that's when you pulled out that vision board. The first thing I zoomed in on, like 1,200 personally sponsored. I've talked to Kyle about this, and I've heard Kendall's numbers, and so that's just where I
No,
struggle
no,
in the
I'm just
business.
so you know, we changed that. So I'm at like 624. My goal is to be at 1,200 in the next 90
Oh,
days.
okay, I got you.
So
Okay,
I'm not at 1,200 yet. That
okay.
was creative. That
Well,
was
600
creative.
is still impressive.
Yeah.
You're at 630, Jay. Your wife's been busy while you're on this call. I just checked.
So yeah, so again, that's where it's really important. Like Success Snowflake is not the same, right? So
Right.
I didn't want to share that. I mean, that's my real thing. That's on my computer, on my phone.
Yeah.
That's but I wanted to share with you guys what's real. But for me, what's realistic in this business is, if you talk to 3 to 5 people every single day, honestly, I think, the average person could at least sign up 20 people per month,
Right.
because I just feel like I can close. The more you talk about it, the better you get talking about the
Right.
business. And so you're going to be able to close a lot more people.
Yeah.
The downline situation, I've owned several businesses like you, Chad, my entire life. And I would say that 90% of all of my employees were not good. They just showed up to collect a paycheck. And so, what I do is I focus on the 20%. So the people that we bring in the business, I figure out who really wants to go and who wants to run with me. And that's where I invest my time,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't want it, and
Right.
so we got to figure out who wants it and who wants to do it. And then when we pour into them, we figured out sitting down with them at goal setting and showing them what's the vision and what's possible, that's the time. And my wife, I call her Mother Teresa. The mistake she made at her first company is she wanted to save everyone. She wanted to help everyone, right? She thought everyone was, we could help everyone. We could help everyone become successful. And I was like, you can't want it more than them. They've got to want it, and then we're going to help them get there. And she's just like, I can help all these women. They do want it. And I'm like, if they wanted it, they would be showing up to trainings every week. They would be showing up to opportunity calls. They would be showing up at least. But people sometimes don't want it. So you just that's the frustrating thing about this industry too, is when I have employees, I can have an expectation, which I'm going to talk about next week, because I'm paying them. I have a contract. I'm paying them for something in return. But no one here is an employee.
Right.
Everyone here is an independent contractor. So that's the great thing, is I don't have anybody I'm answering to. But the downside of it is we've got to figure out a way to motivate people and let them see the vision. And the only way to do that is to lead, right? And to show them and have the conversations. Like, my best friend's been in this for 5 months. He reached out to me yesterday and was like, all right, I need to ask you some questions. I'm trying to figure this thing out. And so I was like, I've been waiting on you. I've been reaching out to you. I've been telling you, hey, let's, when you want to do this thing? Oh, I'm busy. I'm excuses. And yesterday we sat down for an hour and a half. And at the end of the hour and a half, I was like, okay, that's enough. Okay, I got what I need to work on for a little bit. I'm good. Let's go on to the next thing. So I just think I think what Kyle and Joey do that's really good is when they enroll someone, they ask them, what do they want to accomplish? And I think it's a great question. Where do you want to take this business? What do you want to make out of this business? How much money you want to make out of this business? Well, this is what you're going to have to do. Right. And my common thing with people is just talk to 3 people every day. You talk to 3 people every single day. That's 90 people a month. right? If I close 10% of those people, I'm closing 9 at least. If I get really good, I'm closing 20. If I get to 30% and I get really good, but with practice in 6, 7 months, I'm closing 30, right? And that's going to change your business. And you're right, Chad. Like if everyone did what you did, your organization would be amazing, right? If everybody brought 30 people into the business and then they brought 30, then they brought 30, but it will happen. And this is the other thing that I think happens in this business is because we've become such a society of immediate results. Chad, 6 months is not a long time.
Yeah.
6 months is a very short. Your scuba business, your dive business took
34 years.
years to build.
Yeah.
To the point of where now it's sustainable and you don't have to pour into it every day. But we see people like Kyle have massive success very, very quickly, very early on, and then we start comparing ourselves to a Kyle. And we can't do that. We got to compare ourselves to what we want to accomplish. And that's what I've been trying to teach you guys is don't compare yourself to a Kyle or a Rochelle, or they have a different business model. But Mike Hernandez is no social media following, and the guy's making an obscene amount of money every single month, right? He's making $250,000 a month. I mean, that's a lot of money to make in this business. And he's just done it going to the pickleball court. Like yesterday, he was on the pickleball court for 5 hours, right?
Right.
He's going to patch 5 people every single time he's on the pickleball court. That's going to make his business grow. So I think that's what we really have to focus on is what do you want to accomplish? And then when you find that person, then you are pouring into them and focusing into them when they're ready. But when people come into the business, they're not doing anything. Don't waste any energy on the people that don't want to do anything.
Right.
Tell them you're there. Tell them you want to help them, but they also have to be ready. They got to be ready to do it. Like you're ready, Chad. You're asking all kinds of questions. I talked to you in Punta Mita. I talked to you in Destin. Like you guys are like, you guys really want to grow this business, right? So that's who I want to pour into.
Yeah.
The people that are just here because, they want to do this and they think they're going to make $1 million a year by treating it like a hobby.
Yeah.
It might take you 5 years. It might take you 10 years.
Right.
But if you say, listen, I'm going to talk to 3 people every single day, then you're going to build a good business, and and it's going to be a sustainable business that's going to pay you for a long time. And so again, to show you what I want to make in this business, for me, money is not the only option, but money is a measuring stick. It tells me, okay, I'm doing what I need to do to get to, this. So if I'm at 20,000, then I've built the business that I want to build. And so that's just the way my brain operates. And I know you and I talked to Punta Mita about the calendar, and I showed you everything is on my calendar, and just writing the goals down. And so it's everyone ticks different. All I want you guys to do is if you guys take a small piece of little things that I'm teaching you and make it your own, that's what's going to be most important. I just want to give you some of the tools that I used to create success in my life.
And
it's a great question, Chad.
Yeah, it's a quick question that since a lot of my downline, the ones that have potential, I think, to do this and I love this training. How long do y'all plan on keeping this training up in the recorded Telegram platform that we could send people to?
Well, it's gonna be on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna do this training for my entire team starting after this finishes. So I'm gonna do it like 8 weeks in a row with just my team as well. So I'm gonna redo it with just my team because this was just for you guys and Destin.
Yes.
But it'll live on our YouTube channel. It's gonna live on our website. Anyone can have access to our website. So you guys can point anybody that you want to that if they want to watch the training and hear these questions. And because a lot of times, it's it's like I've always heard you're nobody in your house, so like, you might run a super successful business but you're no one at home, but you're the man everywhere else, right? And so sometimes that's the way it is in the business, right? Like you're no one to your downline, but then someone else comes in from the outside and it's like, oh my God, that's the gospel. And it's like, I've been saying the same thing for the last 2 years, but someone else said it differently, or they connected with somebody differently. It's nothing against you. It's just, and also people got to be ready.
Yeah.
Like everyone on this call is ready.
About me. I just needed to be about action.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, and again, all the resources. That's why I bring Kyle into these. That's why I have Kyle on my trainings, because he's so good, and different people are going to relate and connect with Kyle's energy and Kyle's delivery. And So us utilizing each other's trainings, that's why I want to make it available on YouTube, because I just feel like if we can help a lot of people in this business, one, it just gives us credibility and it makes our brand stronger. And then more people are going to want to be a part of it because there's tools out there that are going to actually help them take their life. And because everything that I've taught you guys was not really much about LifeWave, right? I'm not giving you guys nuts and bolts about LifeWave. I'm giving you guys nuts and bolts about getting your mind right
Yeah.
to be able to set yourself up to go out and have conversations with people and build your business. Because if this isn't right, then it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to lead. You're not going to, people aren't going to follow you because you're not leading from the right position. You're leading from a money position.
Yeah.
And I don't ever lead from a money position. If you lead from a money position, people will leave quickly. But if you lead from a leadership position, I want to help you,
Yeah.
then it's going to be a lot better. And so I hope you guys have seen that over the last 5 weeks. It's not really been about, let me show you how to recruit. Let me show you how to, that's not what this training is about. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of trainings about that. I mean, Kyle teaches great stuff on that. So again, I hope it was very, very useful for you guys. And we got 2 more weeks to go. And then, we're going to wrap this thing up. But, Kyle and I were talking about doing something ongoing, and bringing different leaders in like Kyle and Devin and Sarah and Mike, and, bringing different people in to train on their expertise and keep something kind of going for our group.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have like 3 questions that we could ponder while we're trying to come up with our vision board to kind of help us focus a little bit?
Yeah. So what I would say is one, and I'm going to share these with you next week, these questions around success and goals.
Okay.
What does success look like for you? Okay. So what is Mary Ann Green, if you were to say, I am successful because, it's family, wife, money, travel, helping people, your health, your wellness, like like if you could just have a magic wand and say, I am successful because, that's your vision board. That's where you want to start, right? I want to get better at this. I want to get better at this. So for me, like if you saw mine, I have family,
Right.
I have business, I want to help people. I had personal, right? For me, I already work out. I'm in good shape, but now it's like, okay, I'm 51 years old. I was at 11% body fat when I was 38 years old. Now I'm 51. It's a little bit more challenging. So I want to push myself a little harder to get back there. And the reason why is I freaking saw this dude who was 60 years old and he was shredded. And I was just like, I was giving myself excuses saying, oh, I'm 51, like 13% is good, 13.5% is good. Like, and I'm like, no, I could push it a little further. And so that's why for the next 90 days, I want to get down there, because I saw this guy and I'm like, holy crap. Like this guy I'm like, how'd you do it? And he was like, hard work. And I'm like, it looks like it, so that would be one of the questions. The other question that I would ask yourself, because I really truly believe the number is a really important factor, because the number gives you peace of mind, right? So if I have this much in the bank and I'm making this much per month, that's going to direct your focus on a lot of things that you need to do in your business. And not only that, how you spend your money, right? Because a lot of people think I need to make a lot of money, but they don't focus on how they need to invest and spend it, right? And making really, really good financial decisions. I mean, our financial literacy in the United States of America is terrible, right? I mean, if I think my goal, if I could ever be president of the United States, is to have kids in that go into 6th grade, that they get a stock account, a fake stock account with $50,000 in it, and they have to grow that account to $100,000 in 7 years to graduate. And so they learn how to trade stocks, they learn financial literacy, they know how to manage money, they know how to manage a checkbook, like those types of things. So that's why I always focus. It's not about money. It's just focusing on making the right decisions. I told you guys the difference between rich and wealthy. Rich makes a lot of money, spend a lot of money. Wealth makes every single financial decision based on, can their assets pay for any of their liabilities, right? And so that would be the second question that I would ask myself. And the third question that I would ask myself is, what is the biggest thing I want to give? And that could be mentoring people. That could be helping people in the community. That could be helping the environment, cleaning up beaches or whatever. Like, so those are the 3 questions that I center everything around. in my life is, what does success look like for me? What is my number and where do I want to get back? And like, you saw my daughter, like my daughter is super talented and, I see this focus in her and she loves, golf so much. And I just want to, I want to be able to spend time with her and do that and watch her rise and become this person. I mean, she wants to watch golf every day on television, which is just crazy to me. Like, like I love it. So those are the three main questions I would ask. But just, what have you always wanted, but you thought you couldn't have, or that's not for me, that's not gonna ever come into my life. Like all of those things I want you guys to think about. But the 90-day thing is, remember, it's not I want a Bugatti. It's when the next 90 days, what are you going to accomplish? Right? Not about that. I mean, the 90 days, I want our income at that, which these are all attainable and feasible goals, based on the activity that I'm doing. So in every 90 days, that vision board is going to change, right? You're going to take things that you didn't accomplish and be like, all right, I hit 18.5, in the last 90 days. So I'm going to still be, I'm going to do 21, it's not going to be 20. I think I can get to 21,000 a month in my check, so that's where I want you guys to take this 90-day thing. And so think about the overall where I want to go, but what's it going to take to get there? It's not going to be in the next 90 days. It might be in 2 or 3 years, but what's the first step in the 2 or 3 years that's going to get you there? And then you got to sit down every week and say, how close am I? So again, remember we talked about SMART goals.
Mhm.
They have to be measurable, right? The vision board gives you measurable goals that you can see. 4 days a week, I want to spend with my daughter every week. Right now, it's like 2 to 3. I want that fourth day in there because I know it's going to take her to another level. But, so when I sit down with my daughter and say, Poppy's goal is to go practice with you 4 days a week, guess what? I have the toughest, hardest accountability partner that I could ever assign because she's going to be like, hey, Poppy, we only practiced 3 days this week. I thought you said we are going to do 4. And so then I got to make time in my schedule to do those 4 days. So I hope that answered your question.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else? I'll answer one more. Don't be shy, you guys. I feel like Anna looks like I'm staring straight at her. I might be staring straight at you, Anna. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I really, really appreciate it. We're gonna do another event, probably in September. So we're working on all the details right now. I don't know that Kyle wanted me to tell that, but we're working on everything that we're gonna do in September. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys again. I'm sure you guys are all gonna be there. And just thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate spending this time with you guys and your great questions and your engagement. So hopefully, again, it's very, very helpful for you guys, and I'll see you guys very, very soon.